So today's conversation is all about the power of dance. So in this episode, we'll explore what actually is dance, what makes dance powerful. We'll explore my story of how I went from a total beginner to an accomplished professional dancer. And then we'll explore some tips on how you can grow and improve and find more power in dance. This is a podcast where we get curious about the fascinating art and science of becoming more powerfully embodied in every aspect of life. We're here to guide you towards improving your entire self, how you move, how you think, how you sense and feel yourself. And our conversation today is a sanctuary for creatives, visionaries, change makers, and anyone seeking healing, growth, or deeper power from within. So I am your host, Tamara. I'm a professional dancer and Feldenkrais practitioner. I am absolutely obsessed with the art and science of movement. And I'm here today with Jessica Buchleitner, my friend and amazing journalist.
Thank you.
She is a really awesome communication scientist. And she is also the author of 50 Women anthology series. She interviewed 50 women from 30 different countries and just compiled their stories that include a whole range of women's issues. And I really admire her. She's a friend.
Thank you. I admire you too. And today we are flipping that script, aren't we?
Yeah. So typically I am the host, but today Jessica is going to host the conversation and she'll be interviewing me.
Exactly. So shall we get started?
Let's begin.
Okay. So one thing I want to understand, and I think that's those of us coming into dance new, is what exactly is dance? How do you define it as a professional dancer?
That's an excellent question. What is dance? And a lot of people have a perspective, oh, I'm not a dancer, and they say that, and it just hurts me so much because I really believe everyone is a dancer. And let me explain this perspective. We all evolved for dancing. So dancing is just communicating through movement and gesture. And for me, dance is a playful conversation. And we all inherently know how to dance because babies know how to dance before they learn how to speak. A 1-year-old child will find rhythm and will move and groove and play with movement. And that's where I got my my definition of dance. Dance is a playful conversation. And we all evolved for dancing, especially through human evolution. Humans, we didn't always have verbal conversations, verbal articulations. Before we spoke to each other, we communicated through movement and gesture. It's in our nature. It is human nature. And it is human nature to dance, to have a playful conversation. And we're just taught not to dance, or we're taught that dance only means that you're you can execute movements correctly, which is a very narrow definition of dance.
Definitely. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And one of the things that you said in this playful conversation, you know, the composer Hans Zimmer, most of you probably know Hans Zimmer. He's composed half of Hollywood's movies. When they asked him, what is music? He said, it's a conversation. So if you're dancing to music, music is a conversation, dance is a playful conversation. So thought I would build off of that because I thought that was a really powerful answer when he gave that. And that's a powerful answer about dance.
So I would like to add, and with any conversation, it includes both listening and speaking. So the beginning of dance is just being able to listen very deeply, listen deeply to 3 things: to the music or the sound surrounding you. You can dance to the sound of leaves or trees, and then listening to your environment, your audience, any textures, the size or shape of your space, textures and colors, listening to the energy of your surroundings, and then listening deeply to yourself. How do you feel in response to the sound, the music, the environment, and how do you feel internally in your own sense of self? And then once you, at the same time you're gathering all this information, you're listening, dance is an expression of all of this listening.
Beautiful. And what makes dance powerful?
Yeah, so dance is, to me, the most powerful way to move through the world is to dance. And we all have the ability to dance with anything at any time. It's in not what we do, but how we do it. So let's say a walk can be a dance. So if I'm walking and I'm not dancing, I'm just kind of I'm not listening or saying anything with my walk, even though you actually always are, even if you're unaware of it. But let's add this layer of having a playful conversation while I'm walking. So I'm listening, and I'm listening to sound, or I'm listening to my sense of self, and it's influencing the way I move, and I'm aware of this, and I'm kind of playing with it. And this sense of play adds this huge layer of power to dance, because it's how we learn as human beings. Kids learn all through play, and you can learn faster and easier through play. Play makes everything lighter, easier, and when everything is lighter and easier, you feel more powerful. You are more empowered.
Definitely. Yeah, I know I do, at least.
Yeah.
So let's go from the very beginning. Whenever you, not becoming a professional dancer doesn't happen overnight. You're not born a professional dancer. So how did you go from finding your way into dance all the way to being a professional dancer? Take us from the bottom of the iceberg to the top.
Excellent. Yes, I'm happy to share my story. And so for me, the very beginning is I grew up in a small town in Wisconsin, and people don't dance there. So I just started kind of dancing to music videos in my parents' basement. And then when I was in college, I studied abroad. So I went to University of Wisconsin-Madison, and I studied abroad in Cape Town, South Africa, for a year. And in moving to South Africa, there was this huge culture shock for me in that everyone danced all the time. And I was so excited and so enamored by that I just went out dancing every single night, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I was out all night dancing, and I didn't even care about drinking that much. I just wanted to dance. And it started as a way to connect and to express joy. So I never saw myself as a professional dancer when I was 20 years old. I just loved dancing, and it was just, yeah, a way to connect and have fun. And then so after that, I moved to San Francisco in 2011. And the day I moved to San Francisco, I met a dance teacher, and she taught samba. And she invited me to her class. And I thought, oh, I love dancing. That sounds fun. This lady's really nice. I'll go to her dance class. So I took samba for a couple years, and I danced samba. Was very terrible at it. I couldn't even dance samba for the whole first year. It took me a whole year to learn the samba step. And I really enjoyed samba. And then one day I biked past a belly dance studio, and I thought, oh, I took a belly dancing class. I was in the University of Wisconsin belly dancing club. And I was like, that was fun in college. Let me try it again. So I went to class. I went to this belly dance studio in Oakland, California. And once I started, I honestly never stopped going to class. I was a dedicated student, going to class every Monday and Wednesday from 7 to 10 p.m. for 4 years. And I just loved it. it was a gradual process of falling in love with dance. And in particular liked belly dance because it was very feminine and at the same time very athletic, and it challenged my brain in different ways. I just loved the puzzle of kind of figuring out how to move in new ways all the time. Yeah, so from there, how did I become a professional dancer? So I studied with one dance teacher for 4 years, was a dedicated student, and actually, at that time, I was going through a very challenging part of my life. I actually just lost my dad to cancer, and I was really sad, really sad and really depressed when I went to dance class. And at the same time, I had a full-time job and career in the nonprofit sector. I worked in the nonprofit sector for 10 years, and I was a marketing and development director. And I would drag myself to dance class after work, super tired, really depressed, not having barely any energy for dance, but I always knew that if I went to dance class, I would feel better afterwards. And I kept showing up. And years later, after several years of balancing full-time work in the nonprofit sector and dancing in my free time after work, I eventually came to a point where I simultaneously wasn't happy in my job anymore.
That happens. Yeah.
It was my dream job. I absolutely loved working for the nonprofit I worked for. I loved the people. I loved the mission. It was my dream job to make money and also do good for society. And I felt I had a meaningful job. And I absolutely loved and adored my boss and my organization I was working for. And at the same time, I felt burnt out and like stuck. And at the same time, I fell in love with dance. I completely fell in love with dance. And I asked myself this question: what would I do if I had a year to live?
Mm-hmm. That's a good one.
And I saw my dad through cancer answer this question 4 times, 4 years in a row. They told my dad he had 1 year to live, and he passed away when I was 24. And it made me live my life with such deep intention. So I'm like, I don't know how much time I have to live.
And time is the one currency that we never know the balance of. So
yeah,
there you are.
So I'm like, what would I do if I only had a year to live? Mm-hmm. And I would quit my job and travel and dance around the world. So that's exactly what I did. I mustered up the courage to quit my job. At that time, I had a fair amount of savings, so I kind of funded my own journey for.
That's a good idea.
The beginning.
Yes.
And I went and traveled, and I took workshops from all of these different teachers around the world. I went to dance workshops in Serbia, in Budapest, in Barcelona, and Egypt. I spent a month in Egypt and a few weeks in Lebanon, learning from all of these teachers that I admired or wanted to learn from, learning directly from people from the culture of belly dance. And it not only shaped my whole dance, completely transformed my dance, learning from such a variety of teachers and experiencing the culture directly, but I also met other people around the world who prioritize dance in their lives. And that was incredibly empowering. And from there, I went back to San Francisco in the US, and I started a career full-time as a professional belly dancer.
You touched on this a little bit about how your relationship with dance evolved over time, where at some point there was a fork in the road and you're like, I'm going to pursue this professionally. If you could describe that evolution for me, I would like to hear that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Dance is a very meaningful practice. I view it as a relationship. Like, me and dance have been together for 13 years. And it always hasn't been easy.
In a playful conversation, right?
Yeah. It's like sometimes, and like any relationship, sometimes I feel really close and deeply in love, and sometimes I'm like, I need a break, or sometimes I have to show up even if I'm tired and miserable and don't really want to, but I love it. So I keep showing up. So seeing how I evolved in dance over 13 years, looking back in the very beginning, I was afraid of dance. I wasn't comfortable in my own skin. I doubted myself all the time. And I was only comfortable with doing fast and happy movements. And that's just where I was at when I was first beginning dance. And then over time, as I learned more and more about different styles and different movements and more about myself, I use dance as a mirror to myself. I'm like, oh, this is how you're moving or you're not moving, or you're expressing or not moving. And I listened to that, and I evolved over 13 years to where I am today, which is, I would say, I feel confident and empowered in my dance. And
That's important.
I
Yeah.
no longer have anything to prove. I spent a lot of time looking for myself in dance or trying to prove myself. And I think we all do that in life. We're like, oh, I have to be good at this. I have to prove myself. And
some of you may be struggling with that, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's an important one.
Yes.
So you've obviously faced some challenges getting into that, where you're talking about feeling in the past, like, because sometimes we have imposter syndrome, right? Like we have to go out and say, can I call myself a professional dancer? Can I call myself a professional actor or whatever? At what point can I actually say I'm a professional XYZ? So in that road to professional dancer, what have been your biggest challenges, I would say?
Yeah, I absolutely can relate to having imposter syndrome. I doubted myself and still do sometimes doubt myself, but I don't take myself seriously at all. So I'm like, oh, it's so cute that you doubted yourself.
Go away, amygdala.
Yeah.
Stop lying to me.
Yeah, I've honestly at this point embarrassed myself and looked terrible on stage so many times that it's just
it happens.
I just accept that. So what challenges have I faced? Well, absolutely my mindset. I used to struggle prioritizing dance in my life because for me it felt like something that was really selfish that I did for me, and I was raised to be such a giver and think of other people all the time. And I did struggle with that for many years, like affirming to myself that this is important, that I am allowed to do this, that I deserve to dance in my life, that I'm so worthy of this practice of dancing. That was one of my biggest struggles. And feeling confident. It took me a long time to actually feel completely confident in my dance. And there's still moments that I don't, though I'm not 100% there. And I think I'm human, right? I can't be 100% confident all the time. I'm just like, oh, I could do this better. I'm always finding that balance between being happy with you where you are right now while also acknowledging I can also improve.
Exactly.
And I'm always still balancing that. I'm still today, even though people think I'm a good I am an accomplished dancer. I've danced over 500 gigs in my life. And at the same time, there are still things I can improve on. So
definitely. And so that said, with these challenges, the imposter syndrome usually comes in the beginning of pursuing something, right? You kind of have to, there's the term fake it till you make it, which we've all done at some point or another. So for you, if you could go back to when you were 13 years old in the very beginning, or 13 years ago, sorry, in the very beginning of becoming a dancer, what would you tell yourself if you could talk to your former self? What would you say to Tamara?
Yes, that's an excellent question.
Yeah.
What would I say to my younger self 13 years ago? I would say everything's going to be okay.
Literally, it will be if you let it. Yeah.
Yeah, yes, everything's going to be okay. You're good enough as you are right now. I have so much appreciation for every single version of myself, even though at each single version, while I was going through it, there were things I was struggling to accept. I'm like, oh, I'm not good enough. But you are good enough at every level, at every step of the journey. Um, I would say take what you do seriously, but don't take yourself seriously at all. So I kind of separate my sense of identity and self-worth from this dance practice. I'm like, oh, I know I have a good heart and I'm a good person. I'm worthy. This is, and I look at myself with a sense of total love and acceptance now. And I didn't do that 13 years ago. And I would just tell myself, honey, you're good enough. You're so worthy. And just keep dancing because you love it and it feels, and that's a good enough reason to dance if it brings you joy and fulfillment. Um, Another thing that really helped me with my dance is doing mindset work. I discovered this book called The Artist Way about 7 or 8 years ago, and I've had this journaling writing practice for 8 years. And just allowing yourself to get out all of those insecurities on paper, writing and speaking it out. And like that really helped transmute all of those feelings of shame and unworthiness around how I dance. I would say there were a few things I would do differently if I were to start my dance journey over today. 13 years ago, I think one mistake I made was to take all of these classes with just one teacher for 4 or 5 years. And because I was just with the same teacher, I ended up dancing exactly like her and not knowing how to dance like myself. And then I noticed there was, when I started taking dance classes with other teachers, I noticed just huge gaps in my knowledge. So I would encourage anyone who's starting out to just take classes with a variety of teachers. That's the biggest thing that would enrich your education. So be kind to yourself, take classes from a variety of teachers, seek more community support. I wish I didn't try to do everything myself or hide myself so much. I would just like seek more community and share in the experience because really you're not alone. Everyone feels
No.
shame and insecurity and doubt around themselves and their dance, the way they move, the way they live, and this is normal and human. So
It absolutely is. Embrace the shame and bond through the shame. I would say that's powerful right there.
yeah, and
So
it's not only the pain that hurts so much, it's just being alone in your pain. So if you can share that and accept support from community, it makes everything a whole lot easier. Yeah.
So I want to bring this up before I ask you the last question. You have one of your reels about found sound. I thought it was really powerful how you were dancing to like construction noise or birds chirping without actual music or mirrors around you. And this is a really interesting concept, found sound. Everybody's going to go searching for this reel now.
This is a dance prompt. It's actually
Yes.
my favorite dance prompt for creativity. And I actually stole this or borrowed it from a dance teacher, Mira Betts. She inspired me to dance to found sound. Um, so for example, you don't need music to dance. What you need is just any situation that you're in, you can pause and take a moment of mindfulness and just listen to the sounds that you find. For example, right now, I hear the humming of an air conditioner and the vibrations of a fridge, and then some kind of airy lightness around me. And then I also get a sense of not only the sound, but what texture or color is around me. So absorbing the color and texture of the walls or the trees. And then also the same time sensing myself and my reaction to these things. So I'm like, oh, this sound makes my shoulders want to wiggle. I'm like, oh, it's humming. This is a humming sound. And I sense like a trickle or a wave coming from this side. And then I just begin to play and dance with it. And so thank you for...
I had to bring that one up because this leads into how we want to close this out and offer you all something that you can use practically. So if you could give 3 practical, solid tips on how to grow and evolve powerfully into dance, what would your tips be? I need these, by the way, selfishly.
Yes. This is a great question. So my 3 top tips would be to let go of any preconceived notions of what dance should be or what you should look like.
Okay.
So this is what stops a lot of people from dancing. It's like when I think, why are people not dancing when it is in our nature? We were taught not to dance because we're taught that our movement isn't good enough, or we feel shame about our movement. So this mindset shift of there isn't a way things should be, there's just what happens and what we do. So let go of there's a way I should move or should dance, and then just say, this is the way I am moving or am dancing, and this is what I do in response to that. That's the biggest mindset shift. Dance is a playful conversation. It's available to us at any point in time. Dance is a form of listening. That's the second part of it. So first of all, redefining your perspective of dance, giving yourself permission to make mistakes and be terrible, being okay.
I like that. Yeah.
I said in one of my reels, in order to be awesome at dance, you have to be terrible at it. I actually compare the process of learning dance to the process of learning how to draw or learning how to play an instrument. And let's say I'm learning how to draw. If I'm a toddler learning how to draw, what am I going to do first? I'm going to scribble. I don't know how to draw straight lines yet. I'm just going to scribble for a while. So scribble. This is what you need to do to be a good dancer. You need to learn. You just need to scribble for a while. And then after you scribble, then you can draw straight lines and circles and squares. And then you can draw, gradually evolve from there. But embrace being terrible, allow yourself to scribble, play, and listen to the sound, listen to your environment, listen to yourself.
Those are awesome tips.
And then if that's for someone who just wants to be a hobby and like a dance enthusiast, invite more dance into your life. And if you want to perform or be a professional dancer, I would have a different advice for you, which would be to, like I said before, take classes from a variety of different teachers, seek out community support, and seek out feedback. The most important thing, dance every day. Just do it. Just allow yourself to dance as you are right now.
Wonderful. So finally, is there anything that I didn't ask you that I should have asked you? That's something I ask everyone I interview.
Oh, is there anything else?
Is there anything I missed in terms of questions that I should have asked you about?
I think we covered everything.
Wonderful. Then I will hand it back over to you.
Amazing. Well, we would love to hear if you have any questions. If you were listening today, feel free to message me some questions. You can also follow me on Instagram, and I would love to hear any questions or feedback you have, and also invite you to keep in touch with Jessica.
Sure. You can find me on Instagram at Narrative Dive. You can also find me on TikTok at Narrative Dive or narrativedive.com to enjoy a new podcast exploring the narratives that dominate our world.
Amazing.
Thank you all. Have a lovely, lovely day, night, wherever you are in the world. We love you. We hear you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much.